So this lesson is gonna build off of what you learned previously. Just a quick recap. In the previous work, the business problem was that the hotel's distribution channel flow had a serious flaw, and it was the fact that it was not two-way. So the hotel ran this risk of losing unnecessary commission costs. And this is because any changes made on the hotel side, they don't automatically shoot back to the OTAs. So in cases where guests don't show up or they leave early, we get this risk of losing some serious money in commission. So your role, what you did to solve this problem, was you used the SUMIFs to quickly track the dates that had a discrepancy, and then you used the pivot table to pinpoint these discrepancies and manually make revisions to tell Expedia and to tell Booking.com that your ass is grass. Don't charge us. Don't charge us for these no-shows and early departures. And you were able to help save the hotel some money. Now, we're going to go off of this and we're going to get a closer study of this distribution channel flow. So in the previous video, I told you how OTAs such as Booking.com and Expedia, they take a cut. They take a piece of the pie as far as the revenue earned. So I mentioned your trip to London, Canada, where even though Ramada could earn $3,000 from your escape trip to Canada, Expedia takes $540 of this. Now, there are two ways OTAs collect this money. The first way is called the net rates, and I like to call it the shady way to better help you visualize this. So let's say a guest books a room on Expedia for $100. When a customer makes the reservation, Expedia charges the guest directly in this example. So Expedia charges the guest $100, which is the price of the room. So at this point in the distribution channel flow, the transaction is only occurring between Expedia and the guest. And Expedia now has, after charging the guest $100, they now have the money. And then from here, they start getting shady. Now the next step, if you remember, is for the reservation to go to Wyndham's CRS. But before this happens, Expedia does something here. They pull a fast one. What they do is they slyly take $18 of this $100 and they put it in their pockets. And then they tell Wyndham, all right, Wyndham, we got another reservation. The rate's actually $82. But so shady because the guests paid $100. Douchebags. This is totally legal. I'm just trying to make my point here in illustrating this type of reservation. So this is called the net rates, where Expedia collects the money upfront directly from the guest first, and only after pocketing the commission does Expedia pay the hotel a net rate, a rate where the commission has already been deducted. So when we finally get to the PMS, even though the rate says $82, the reservation actually came from a guest that paid $100. Now the other way is called hotel collect, or what I like to call the big brother way. And this is when the hotel actually gets to charge the guest directly. And it's because it doesn't first go through Expedia. The hotel gets to charge the whole $100. So Expedia simply hands off the reservation to Wyndham CRS and then to the PMS because the hotel charges the guest directly. Hence the term hotel collect. So in the net rate example, just to recap, the transaction is happening between the guest and Expedia, where Expedia charges the guest directly. But in the hotel collect example, the hotel is able to charge the guest directly. Hence the term hotel collect. So the hotel now has this $100 from the guest, and we don't see the shady stuff going on here because when it gets to Expedia, it just seamlessly goes to the hotel. But here's the catch. Expedia is always watching, and Expedia never forgets. And Expedia knows that even though the hotel charged the guest directly, he still has some money owed to him. And if you don't pay Big Brother, well, let me tell you, he's gonna, oh man, he's gonna probably just send you a reminder email. So what happens is at the end of the month, Expedia calculates the commission earned from all the Hotel Collect reservations, and they send the hotel a bill of the commission in total. So with the Shady Way, Expedia has already charged the guest. They've already taken the commission before the guest even sets foot on the hotel. So, all that stuff is done with. But in the Big Brother way, Expedia allows the hotel to charge the guest directly, but they're going to be collecting some commission later. So in your previous work, when you were reconciling the reservations, you were dealing with only Hotel Collect reservations. So your role in the previous video was to make sure that Big Brother calculates it right. We make sure that he doesn't charge us for those no-shows or early departures. And you didn't have to deal with net rates because they don't really pose a problem for us. Let's say a net rate guest doesn't show up. The commission has already been taken care of between the guest and Expedia in the very beginning. Remember in our net rate example, the transaction is happening already between the guest and Expedia. So as a hotel, we don't get involved in any of that, and we don't run a risk of going into negatives. But with the Hotel Collect reservations, we're gonna need to be very careful because Expedia is expecting to collect that commission from us directly. So if a guest doesn't show up, Expedia is still expecting us to give them that $18 unless we do something about it. So you might say that this net rate is better, it works better. But there is an issue with net rates, and this ties to your work for this video. Net rates causes unreported commission costs, and this skews a hotel's understanding of its distribution costs. Net rates skew a hotel's understanding of its distribution costs. Why? Well, let's go back to the Shady example. In the Shady Way, Expedia pockets the money and says, yeah, dude, the rate here is $82. But if you think about it, the guest actually paid $100. And this is misleading to the hotel because this will mess up the hotel's understanding of the cost. They're going to be misled into thinking that the guest was only willing to pay $82 and that the rate was $82. But in actuality, the guest did pay $100. It was just that there was a distribution cost of $18. So the issue with this net rate is that it lowers the perception of our revenue earned. We think that the customer was only paying $82, and it lowers the perception of our commission costs. Because Expedia already pockets the commission costs before they send the reservation over to Wyndham CRS, this commission cost is unreported and we don't really know about it. We just think that the guests paid less. So to connect this with the last video, we're still on the same business problem where there's this issue with the technology behind the connection with the distribution channels. This is focused on the accuracy in reporting the cost, because with these net rates, we're resulting in unreported commission costs. So what's your role here? Well, previously you helped me save money. You helped me save money on unnecessary commission costs. We're going to take it a step further by using Excel to clarify the hotel's understanding of its commission costs. We're going to ensure accurate reporting of the commission costs by using Excel to call out all of our net rate reservations. And a cool buzzword to throw in for your resume or interview is the term customer acquisition cost. It's basically a fancy way of saying the same thing, commission costs. And the idea behind this term is that there is a cost for us as a hotel to get guests to stay at our property. So when OTAs such as Booking.com or Expedia sends a reservation over in this channel distribution flow, what they're essentially helping us do is acquire new customers, right? And that's the whole reason why they're charging us in the first place. They use their marketing power and their brand presence to help us as a hotel acquire new customers. And this commission cost is the cost to acquire these customers. So you really are involved in helping the hotel get a better, accurate understanding of its customer acquisition costs by calling out any unreported commission costs from these net rate reservations. So in the next video, we're back on Excel and we're going to go into net rate reservations, and we're going to ensure that the hotel's understanding of its customer acquisition costs are accurate. Stay tuned.